Hokage hundreds of millions of rewards. Chapter 361-380. Chapter 361 form changes. Nature transformation. Open black lens bracket Recentric close black lens bracket. What kind of ninjutsu is that? Hearing Kakashi's question, Tokiyu didn't answer directly, but explained everything with his actions. This is it. Shiyu flipped his palm between the words, and then a Rasengan was formed in his hand. A second before. Kakashi and Yamato are still puzzled, because open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket they obviously know each other. But in the next second, they were dumbfounded. Because when open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket was not completely formed, a special energy was mixed into it. The chakra ball, which was originally bland, has undergone tremendous changes, and the sound of ZZ is constantly coming out, just like the sound of cutting. Z. As elite Jonin, Kakashi and Yamato naturally caught the clue at a glance. That kind of special power is the attribute chakra. Ninjutsu can be roughly divided into two types. One is escape ninjutsu and the other is non-escape ninjutsu. The so-called escape jutsu ninjutsu is a ninjutsu that uses the attribute chakra that is inherent in the body. Other hand, it is non-escape ninjutsu. For example, Chidori is Raiden Thunder style, which uses the thunder attribute chakra to create a kind of escape jutsu. And open black lens bracket Rasengan close black lens bracket is a chakra ball condensed with ordinary chakra, which has no special effect except for being aggressive. But open black lens bracket Chidori close black lens bracket is the same, he has the thunder attribute. For example, if it spreads to metal, it can guide minds on the water, and it can also restrain open black lens bracket Doden, earth style close black lens bracket. Of course, this does not mean that escape ninjutsu is necessarily better than non-escape ninjutsu. It can only be said that there are two branches, which cannot be compared. It is like open black lens bracket Hiraishin, jutsu close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket Impure World Reincarnation close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket ninjutsu close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Jinten particle style close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket Mokuden wood style close black lens bracket etc. All kinds of yunjutsu ninjutsu can't be compared at all. I can say is, each has its own merits. It all depends on the creator. Kakashi and Yamato looked at the open black lens bracket futon wind style Recentric close black lens bracket in Tokiyu's hands, and their eyes were full of shock. Because they felt a terrible aura from it, an aura that was enough to obliterate them. They didn't have the slightest doubt, once they were recruited, they would die. They deeply understood that the open black lens bracket futon wind style Recentric close black lens bracket of Shiyuzhang must be a powerful ninjutsu. According to his estimation, it is at least in the level category. But as for the ultimate power, you can only know if you have seen it with your own eyes. The eyes of the two of them were full of astonishment, while Naruto, who had seen Shiyu's display sooner or later, was full of fiery passion. Because he has wanted to learn this trick for a long time. When he went to practice with Jiraiya, he also tried to practice this trick. But later he was told by Jiraiya to give up his practice temporarily. Apparently, Jiraiya knew Akatsuki's risks after trying it. Why Naruto's training is terminated. In order not to let Naruto lose, Jiraiya told the latter to go to ask Tokiyu after returning to Konoha. Naruto is naturally not interested in this proposal. Righteous. After some consternation, Kakashi said, Shiyu, this is a nature transformation with wind attribute added to Rasengan. Shiyu nodded, then said, because the cutting power of wind attribute and the nature of Rasengan make it look like a spinning shuriken, so I named it futon wind style. Rasenshuriken. Rasengan itself is a ninjutsu derived from morphological changes, and now it has added the wind attribute nature transformation. No wonder this ninjutsu is so terrifying just by its breath. Kakashi sighed in admiration, and Yamato nodded in agreement. As Jonin, they naturally know how difficult it is to combine these two abilities into one ninjutsu. If Naruto hadn't practiced Rasenshuriken before, he probably wouldn't know what Kakashi was talking about. Because of futon wind-style Rasenshuriken, one must know chakra's nature transformation and morphological changes, so Jiraiya also gave Feather has a lot of knowledge in this area. Also at that time, he felt that Shiyu was no longer just a genius, but a real evildoer. At this moment, Naruto asked curiously, Kakashi-sensei, apart from the 5 nature transformations of wind, thunder, water, fire, and earth, is there anything else in this world? Why do you ask that? Kakashi was very curious between the words, obviously did not expect Naruto to suddenly ask this question. It is so. I remember that Shiyu can do Jiden magnet style, and he can also play Captain Yamato's Mokuden wood style, so these two escape techniques are not the nature transformation of magnetic attribute and wood attribute. What? Quote. You're right. Kakashi responded with a sound, and immediately said, there is no magnetism among the 5 basic properties, and there are 2 kinds of wood, which belong to derived properties. Derived properties. Hearing Naruto's muttering, Kakashi also explained. Naruto, bloodstain boundary, you should have heard of it. Naruto nodded, and then said, I heard Shiyu said that bloodstain boundary was born from a collection of chakras with 2 different attributes. Not bad. It's like Tokiyu's Jiden magnet style, as a combination of wind attributes and earth attributes, while Yamato's Mokuden wood style is made up of water attributes and earth attributes born of union. How the hell was it done? Naruto asked again. Master Shiyu has learned a lot of bloodstain, but he doesn't know any of them. After seeing the power of bloodstain, he naturally wonders if he can learn 1 or 2. In this way, his strength will definitely increase greatly. Now that this topic is discussed, he naturally does not want to miss this opportunity. Chapter 362-Yin and Yang Attributes. Amazing achievement. Regarding Naruto's question, Kakashi, the instructor, also explained patiently. The principle is simple, it's all at the same time. For example, Mokuden wood style is a nature transformation that performs 2 attributes of earth and water at the same time, and a new nature transformation of wood is born. And we call this new attribute composed of the combination of 2 basic attributes, derivative attribute, also called bloodstain limit. The reason why bloodstain boundary is not many people can master it is because it is too difficult to combine 2 different attributes of nature transformation, which is why Sharingan cannot be copied. The easiest and most direct way to obtain it is blood inheritance. It's like the Byakugan of the Hyuga clan, the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan, etc. Quote. After hearing Kakashi's words, Naruto basically understood the principle. He learned with the help of Jiraiya at the beginning, there is wind attribute chakra, which is just right to practice futon wind-style Rasenshuriken. But unfortunately, he had just been practicing for a while, and he was suspended by Jiraiya when he had not completed the master wind attribute nature transformation. However, just when Kakashi thought he had made everything clear, Naruto raised a doubt again. Kakashi-sensei. How about Shikamaru's shadow imitation, and Choji's double technique, as well as medical ninjutsu and demonic illusion? Naruto obviously wanted to figure it out all at once, so as not to have to ask in the future. Kakashi, who heard the words, was stunned for a moment, and then said, Naruto, these things can't be explained in a few words. If I tell you all at once, it will confuse you. Kakashi-sensei, let's forget about yin and yang, 2 kinds of nature transformation this time. Shiyu really didn't want to waste time, so he interrupted. Use words. Kakashi and Yamato's eyes flashed with surprise, but Tokiyu had already figured this out. However, thinking about them is relieved. Shiyu has Sharingan and Master has medical ninjutsu, so Akatsuki's yin and yang attributes are also reasonable. That right. Naruto, the most important thing for you now is to give the open black lens bracket nature transformation close black lens bracket to the complete master. And Kakashi say this, Naruto could only give up temporarily. Naruto, let's see how much you understand about the nature transformation of wind attribute. Shiyu rode. No problem. Naruto responded with a sound, and immediately plucked a leaf from the tree beside him. Then, under the eyes of Shiyu and the others, they held it in their palms. Immediately, he saw his hands clasped together, and a faint chakra raged in his palms. After a while, when Naruto opened his palm, cracks appeared in the leaf. But unfortunately, the leaves have not been cut in half, which means that Naruto's nature transformation of wind attribute has not yet been practiced. This kind of half-baked can't practice futon wind style ninjutsu. The so-called escape is to transform ordinary chakra into a chakra with a specific attribute through nature transformation. How about? To Naruto's question, Shiyu said. It seems that you have roughly understood what the wind attribute nature transformation is, but it's not enough. Voice fell, and Shiyu plucked a leaf from the tree next to him, just like Naruto before. Then he directly clenched it into the palm of his hand. Shiyu is one-handed, not two-handed. The next second. At the moment when Tokyo spread his palms, Naruto looked sluggish, and even Kakashi and Yamato were dumbfounded. Because the leaf in Yu's hand is still intact at this moment, not even a kakuzu has been cut. Seeing this, Kakashi and Yamato were also a little depressed. According to Shiyu's strength, there is no reason to make such a low-level mistake, because it is not difficult. The cutting power of the master is the essence of the open black lens bracket nature transformation close black lens bracket of open black lens bracket wind attribute close black lens bracket. Since Shiyu has created open black lens bracket futon wind style recentric and close black lens bracket, the accomplishment of open black lens bracket wind attribute nature transformation close black lens bracket should not be weak. Could it be that Tokyo did it on purpose, or did he have a deep meaning? Kakashi and Yamato can only understand at this moment. Otherwise, they really can't think of a reason for it. When he came back to his senses, Naruto couldn't help but laughed. Shiyu, you don't seem to be as good as me. Hey. To Naruto's smirk, Shiyu's face didn't show the slightest wave, as if everything was under the master. You're looking carefully. As soon as Tokyo said this, Naruto, Kakashi and Yamato three all got closer. Taking a closer look, the three of them were dumbfounded. But the dumbfoundedness this time was completely different from the previous one, and this time they were amazed. It turned out that the leaves in Shiyuzhang seemed to be complete, but in fact, they had been cut into countless pieces. Such amazing accomplishments, can they not be astonished? Chapter 363 The Secret of Wind. Thin as cicada wings. At this moment, Kakashi and Yamato were extremely stunned, their eyes never leaving the leaf in Tokyo's hand for a moment. I want to confirm whether I am blinding the two of them. They have lived for more than 20 years and have seen countless geniuses, but I have never seen a person who can comprehend the wind attribute nature transformation to such a state. Yamato aside, Kakashi is an all-attribute ninja. Although he majored in lightning attribute nature transformation, he also dabbled in wind attribute. Therefore, he naturally knows how difficult it is to do Shiyu like this. He can only use 4 words to describe Shiyu's move, which is incredible. Exclamation mark. Now the highest wind attribute nature transformation in Konoha villages, Asuma. Underscore. But even he can't be like Shiyu. Comparing the two, they don't seem to be on the same level. And the fact that the leaves in Shiyu's palm at the moment seem to be intact, Shiyu has 2 reasons. First, because the cutting speed of Shiyu is too fast, the sticky pigment in the leaves is completely broken. Second, it is because there is still a part of chakra in the palm to maintain, the purpose is to prevent the leaves from dispersing with the wind. You know, this leaf at this time has been cut into countless pieces by Shiyu. Not to mention the breeze, as long as the slightest airflow can blow it away. The reason why Shiyu did this is to prove that this leaf was cut, not ravaged like this. Kakashi and the three of them confirmed the neat cut on the leaf, and everything was confirmed. Tokiyu just dissipated the chakra. Sure enough. The next second when Shiyu dissipated the chakra, the leaves in his hands drifted away with the slightest breeze. Dancing in the air, flying into the distance. After a while, Naruto's gaze retracted from the direction where the broken leaf disappeared, and landed on Shiyu again. Time Feather. Your wind attribute nature transformation has such high attainments. Some tips. Since I showed it in front of you, I'm going to teach you. Hearing Shiyu's answer, Naruto's face appeared. There was a strong excitement. Seeing Naruto's appearance, Shiyu was already used to it. Immediately, he stopped talking nonsense, raised his voice, and continued to speak. Listen. Wind's nature transformation is to divide the chakra into two parts and let them rub against each other to generate cutting power. If you want to go further, you must let these two parts of chakra continue to grind each other, so that they become as thin as cicada wings. Grinding blade. Nice. Shiyu nodded and explained. The trick of wind attribute nature transformation is that the thinner it is, the sharper it becomes. Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto fell into deep thought. After a few seconds, Naruto spit out the question in his heart. If you want to be sharp, then just use some sharp ninja tool. Then what's the use of this nature transformation of wind attribute? Isn't it a tasteless rib? You'll know if it's a tasteless test. Shiyu said lightly. How to try? Shiyu took out a handful of kunai directly from his body and said immediately. Take out the misery from you. Oh. Naruto let out a dull sigh, and did it directly. Immediately after, Shiyu handed the kuwu in his hand to Naruto and said immediately. Now you have two kunai in your hand, and now you are throwing them at the tree in front of you. Remember, just throw it as you practiced before. The other one needs to infuse wind attribute chakra throwing, do you understand? Seeing Naruto nodding, he immediately said. Then let's begin. As Shiyu's voice fell, Naruto had already grasped a kunai in his right hand, and he was ready to throw it out. Chapter 364 _ The wind can be turned into 1,000 blades. Can wear everything. Dang! With a crisp sound, Naruto threw a direct kunai and nailed it directly to the tree. The strength was slightly stronger than when he was training at the ninja school, which can be seen from the depth of kunai's head piercing the tree. It can be seen from this. Naruto practiced with Jiraiya for 2 years, and this physical quality has also been improved to a certain extent. After a thought flashed through his mind, Shiyu continued. Naruto, now you pour another kunai into wind attribute chakra and try again. Good. Naruto agreed and did so directly. Naruto may not know what Tokiha is trying to do, but Kakashi and Yamato have already seen the clue. So-called proof is a comparison. Naruto held the second kunai in his right hand again, and then poured in the wind attribute chakra, which was not fully understood by the master according to Tokiyu's instructions. With a faint yellow chakra attached to kuwu, Naruto's eyes suddenly opened. Next second, he threw it out like this before, hey. A sound, kuwu came out of his hands. However, after kunai left this time, the sound of breaking through the air seemed to be much more pronounced than before, and a humming sound seemed to be added to it. Hey, this sound seems to be produced by friction with the airflow in the air, and it sounds a bit harsh. Dang, another crisp voice sounded, without the slightest suspense. The kunai thrown by Naruto nailed it to the tree again. But the difference from the first time is that this time it is more in-depth. If the first time was 3 points into the wood, this time it was 3 inches into the wood. Because the second kunai is almost half of it, the difference between the two is obvious at a glance. Seeing this, Shiyu's voice sounded slowly. Naruto, do you think wind attribute chakra is still tasteless now? It is true that the power can be strengthened, but this increase is too small. Naruto scratched his head between the words, obviously not paying much attention to this increase. In response, Shiyu reprimanded. That's because you haven't mastered your wind attribute nature transformation yet. The wind can transform 10,000 blades and wear everything. Voice fell, and I saw Shiyu's fingertips, one of the kunai nailed to the big tree, sounded like a summoned sword. Away from the tree after shaking slightly. Immediately after. At Kakashi's three people's eyes, and then floated in Tokiyu's hand. For this scene, the three of them were also slightly amazed, and did not show any consternation. Because Shiyu has this ability and they already know, the Jident magnet style thing is not a secret in the whole Konoha. After all, Shiyu is a public ambassador in the Chunin exam. Out. After using open black lens bracket Jiden magnet style latte close black lens bracket to take back a handful of kunai, Shiyu has no extra nonsense. A chakra, a golden chakra, poured out directly from the body. As long as you have the perfect master wind attribute nature transformation, you don't need to close your eyes and concentrate to refine the corresponding attribute chakra like Naruto. Nature transformation for wind attribute has already reached the peak, so naturally he can do it at his fingertips. After Kun Wusheng attached wind attribute chakra, Shiyu didn't have any unnecessary nonsense. Next second. The kunai in his hand was thrown out suddenly like the previous Naruto. Ha! A sound of breaking the air followed, and a strong humming sound lingered in the ears of Kakashi and others. Kind of feeling, the eardrum is about to be pierced, and it hurts. Boom! This time, the sound of kunai touching the big tree is different from before, not clear, but low. And this sound is more than one sound, one is louder than the other. Especially the last one, but that's not what surprised Naruto, Kakashi and others. What surprised them was that Tokyo said that the kunai that he threw out did not nail it to the tree. At this time, there was a big hole in the tree, the size of the hole was the same as that of kunai. No doubt that the kunai thrown by Tokyo pierced the tree. Of course, Naruto would be shocked if it was only because of this, but Kakashi and Yamato were not. Because as long as the master has wind attribute nature transformation, it can be done, and Kakashi is very clear about this. But Shiyu has done much more than that. Because his hole can go through more than one tree, that's 4 or 5 trees. But that's not the point. The point is that 4 or 5, a huge blue rock behind a big tree. There was also a hole on the blue rock, the size of which was almost the same as that on the 4 or 5 trees. Needless to say, that must have been left behind by kunai. That's the real reason for Kakashi and Yamato's shock. Naruto after some shock. In order to confirm that the blue rock was also pierced by the Kuusuo thrown by Tokyo, he also ran behind the rock to check it. No accident, he found a kunai behind the blue rock. But what shocked him was that the kunai at this time was not on the rock, but on the ground. This shows that kunai has completely penetrated this thick blue rock. But what shocked Naruto at the moment didn't stop there, because the void that pierced through the blue rock didn't fall to the ground, but deep into the surface. He stared at the small hole in the ground for a while before confirming the kunai inside. He had to be shocked by this power. Although this was just something Shiyu did, but not everyone could do it. Anyway, Kakashi absolutely can't do it. In today's Konoha, I am afraid that only the elite Jonin, Asuma, who is good at wind attribute, can try it reluctantly. Chapter 365 _ 1000 times the practice method. I do not need. When Naruto dug out Ku from the ground and returned to the original place, Shiyu's voice also sounded slowly. Naruto, now you understand. Seeing Naruto nodding, Shiyu continued. If that's the case, you should start practicing. This first stage of cultivation, as long as you can cut the leaves in half smoothly. Good. Naruto agreed heavily, and then reached out and took off the leaves. Just as Naruto was about to start, Shiyu gave a warning. Naruto, cultivation also requires attention to methods. If you follow the steps like you I don't know when you will be able to complete this first stage of cultivation. Ah! Naruto, who heard the words, was stunned for a moment, and then said, Shiyu, do you have any way to speed up your cultivation? Yes, a method that is only suitable for your cultivation. Then what are you waiting for? Tell me quickly. Hearing that there is a way to speed up the progress of cultivation, Naruto seemed extremely excited between the words. Immediately afterwards, a question spewed out of Shiyu's mouth. You often use Shadow Clone, and you can notice that this spell has a special effect. Quote, quote. At this time, Naruto was stunned, spread his hands, and looked completely ignorant. Naruto doesn't know, it doesn't mean Kakashi and Yamato don't know. Before Tokiyu could explain, Kakashi, the instructor, was the first to speak. Naruto, Shadow Clone is a physical clone. So after the release of the ninjutsu, the experience and memory of whatever the clone has experienced will be accumulated on the caster. Shiyu, he should want you to use Shadow Clone to practice, so that your practice can be multiplied with half the effort. For example, it takes 2 people to practice for 2 days, 2 people can complete it in 1 day, and it takes 1 person 20 years to cultivate, and 1,000 people can practice about 100 a week, it can be completed. With your chakra volume, this is undoubtedly the best way to cultivate. Hearing Kakashi's words, although Naruto was extremely shocked, he also raised doubts. Does it really have such an effect? Whether there is, you will know after a try. As Shiyu's voice fell, Shifen made a clone, and he also made Naruto make a clone. Shiyu and the avatar explained a few words, and then let the 2 avatars start talking in a position where they couldn't hear. After a chat, the clone was released. Tokiyu and Naruto had more memories in their minds. In response, Shiyu's voice sounded again. How about what our Shadow Clone said and did just now? I'm guessing, but I lost. Naruto in the discourse is not because guessing lost a little bit of frustration, but there was a look of anticipation on his face. Because everything is just as Kakashi said, Shadow Clone still has such benefits. I didn't pay attention to using Shadow Clone before, and now I know that this technique has this benefit. Yamato also explained Naruto's words. This technique was originally used to detect danger or sneak into the enemy's lair to collect information. This is the original intention of the Shadow Clone technique. As for battles, it's quite rare. Because Shadow Clone will equally divide the body, the chakra, it is easy for a person's chakra to be exhausted. That's why, even if Shadow Clone is used in battle, there won't be too many of them. Yamato's remarks made Naruto's Shadow Clone have a deeper understanding, but at the moment his mind was not on that at all. Time Feather. I finally know why you are so strong. It turns out that you have been practicing in this way. Naruto giggled between the words, as if he really knew the reason why Shiyu became stronger. When Naruto said this, Kakashi and Yamato were also startled. Apparently, they thought it might be a possibility that Toki's amazing chakra level was known to them, much higher than they, and even Naruto. Therefore, Shiyu can completely cultivate in this way. However, Shiyu's answer made the expressions of the 3 of them instantly stagnate. I've never used this method. Or, I can't use this method at all. If you don't use this method, how can you be so strong? The stubborn Naruto asked. Because I want to learn something, and I can learn it soon. If this was said from someone else's mouth, Kakashi and the others would basically not believe it. But from Shiyu's mouth, they have a lot of reasons to believe it. Shiyu's talent is too enchanting, and if you want to learn anything, you can easily do it. Pervert, who can even create Sage Mode by himself, is there anything in this world that can beat him? Even if it is Blood-Stain Boundary, it is estimated that it will not work. I am afraid that only those things that cannot be learned can stop his pace, such as the ability to inherit only through blood. Shiyu's talent is so terrifying, there is really no need to use this method. I think so too. Kakashi and Yamato both expressed their opinions, and Naruto, who heard the words, did not refute it. Obviously, he agrees with the views of the two. You must know that he and Shiyu studied with Jiraiya together, and he was the first to see Shiyu's evildoer. After asking Tokyo, Naruto's gaze couldn't help but fall on Kakashi. Kakashi, sensei, what about you? Previous theory was told by Kakashi, and he is really strong if he is stronger. Looking at today's Konoha, there is no doubt that it is a powerful existence in the top few. Therefore, Naruto will naturally be curious. Chapter 366-Agreement with Kyuubi, Nine Tails. 3 generations of Jinchuriki column power. Kakashi, sensei, what about you? To Naruto's question, Kakashi also answered truthfully. I have never used this cultivation method once. Oh, why, Kakashi, sensei, aren't you also shadow clone technique? Naruto between the words was incomparably stunned, and Shiyu had never used it, and he could understand it completely. Because the fact is, as the latter said, he really doesn't need it. Although Kakashi is also a genius, if compared with Tokyo, there is a huge gap. The latter knows that there is such a way to speed up cultivation, why not use it? There are only 2 cases. First, either stupid, second, or not, but the problem is that both cases can be ruled out, which is why Naruto is puzzled. Indeed. But the problem is that I don't have as much chakra as you, and the duration of shadow clone will be greatly shortened. Because this technique distributes chakra equally, people like me with less chakra are not suitable for this method. Or, this method only works for a very small number of people. And the fact is that people who are born with a large amount of chakra are relatively rare. No, I have more chakra than Kakashi teacher. Your normal chakra volume is almost 4 times that of mine. If you add the chakra words of open black lens bracket Kyuubi, 9 tails close black lens bracket, it is 100 times more. So, you can use this cultivation method. When Kakashi said this, he naturally did not know that the chakra of open black lens bracket Kyuubi, 9 tails close black lens bracket was infinite. However, what he said is also right. Because the chakra of open black lens bracket Kyuubi, 9 tails close black lens bracket is not really infinite in the sense, but it takes time to condense. Oh, so much. Naruto snorted in surprise, and also had a look of surprise on his face. Naruto, I heard Shiyu say it. You and Kyuubi, 9 tails, have reached some kind of agreement, so you can spend your chakras and use Kyuubi, 9 tails' chakras. Kakashi knew about this after the battle to save Gaara. When he and Naruto paid Deidara, Naruto used open black lens bracket Kyuubi, 9 tails chakra close black lens bracket. Afterwards, he asked Shiyu, but Shiyu did not hide it. As soon as Kakashi said these words, Naruto and Tokyo were naturally calm, but Yamato was shocked. This to him. It is undoubtedly a shocking news. He never thought that Tokyo and Naruto reached an agreement with open black lens bracket Kyuubi, 9 tails close black lens bracket. It sounds very unreliable. Open black lens bracket Kyuubi, 9 tails close black lens bracket. Of course he knows exactly what kind of existence he is. If it wasn't for Akatsuki Tokyo's ability to defy the sky, he wouldn't believe such a fantasy if he killed Yamato. Even so, Yamato still had some doubts in his heart. Shio, is what Kakashi-senpai said true? Whether it's true or not, we'll find out later when Naruto cultivates. Hearing Shiyu's answer, Yamato lost his voice. Because Shiyu said it well, as long as you watch Naruto practice later, you will know whether it is true or false. Such a chakra-intensive cultivation method, even Naruto's chakra is 4 times that of Kakashi's. If what Kakashi said is true, then Naruto will definitely use Kyuubi, 9 tails chakra to continue his practice after consuming his own chakra. If it is false, Naruto may pass out of a coma because of the emptiness. He never imagined that he would go berserk. This is because Naruto has never seen such a situation, and it has never happened to the Kyuubi, 9 tails Jinchuriki column force. If it weren't for Tokyo, the current Naruto would easily run out of control once the chakra in his body was depleted. As for the previous 2 generations, Kyuubi, Nine Tails, Jinchuriki, Column Force, there was no such situation. It is because she is strong enough. The first generation open black lens bracket Uzumaki Mito close black lens bracket can be forced to use some open black lens bracket Kyuubi, Nine Tails chakra close black lens bracket to show her strength. As for the second generation open black lens bracket Uzumaki Kushina close black lens bracket. Although her own strength is not very strong, her bloodline and chakra volume are not weaker than the first generation open black lens bracket Uzumaki Mito close black lens bracket. Both of them were carefully selected from the open black lens bracket Uzumaki clan close black lens bracket as the candidates for the open black lens bracket Kyuubi, Nine Tails close black lens bracket container, and their own strength is enough to suppress the sealed open black lens bracket Kyuubi, Nine Tails close black lens bracket. Furthermore, they have one thing in common. That is that their husbands are all Hokage. Although Naruto also has the blood of the Uzumaki family, his blood concentration is far less than his mother and Uzumaki Mito. That, SY open black lens bracket Kyuubi, Nine Tails close black lens bracket took advantage of it. As long as you get angry, or your chakra is exhausted, it is easy to fall into a state of runaway and out of control. Atmosphere was silent for a while, and Shiyu's voice sounded slowly. Okay, the chat is over. Next, start practicing. Chapter 367 Akatsuki is coming. Protect the 12 ninjas. Next, start practicing. As Shiyu's voice fell, Naruto no longer hesitated, and with excitement, he directly performed the multiple shadow clone technique. Immediately after, hundreds of thousands of Naruto followed Shiyu's instructions, each picked a leaf and started the intensive training of wind attribute chakra. Naruto has been cultivating for a while before, so this time, he will naturally be very handy. Seeing this, Tokiyu said to Kakashi and Yamato. Kakashi, Sensei, Captain Yamato. Just leave it to me here, and you all go to practice. Now Kakashi and Yamato have entered the second stage of open black lens bracket Sage mode close black lens bracket, as long as they can successfully condense open black lens bracket Sage art chakra close black lens bracket. Just around the corner to practice Sage mode. All right. Kakashi responded, and Yamato nodded. Sometimes you taught Naruto to train, and they didn't have to worry about something going wrong. However, you can see a hint of helplessness in Kakashi's eyes. As the instructor of Tokiyu and Naruto, not only did he not guide them in their cultivation, on the contrary, Tokiyu was teaching him open black lens bracket Sage mode close black lens bracket. When I think about it, I feel a little ashamed. Although he really wants to help guide Naruto, it is a pity that he can't do anything open black lens bracket futon, wind style Recentrican close black lens bracket. He never thought that he, who was once hailed as a genius of a generation, would be compared like this one day. Even the 2 rising stars open black lens bracket Uchiha Shisui close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Uchiha Itachi close black lens bracket are considered to be beyond his 2 great talents. But if there is no open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket, their strength will only be equal to each other. But today's Shiyu is different. Even if there is no Sharingan, Kakashi feels that he has been dumped 1,000 miles away. Of his genius that day was completely beaten by Shiyu. Of course, he wasn't jealous of Shiyu, just a sigh. In other words, there is another kind of happiness. I am glad that Shiyu is their Konoha ninja, and I am glad that such a monster turned out to be a student of his class. Looking at Shiyu with great relief, Kakashi and Yamato went to the bluestone pile where they had been practicing for more than half a month. The second stage of their Sage mode training started. At the same time, Naruto's training progress is also quite fast. After getting Shiyu's guidance, his understanding of the attribute nature transformation became more and more profound. Especially when nearly 1,000 people are cultivating together, the speed is natural. Just half a day. Naruto has completed the first stage of training, and there are already many clones that can cut leaves in half. In addition to Tokyu's credit for all this, part of the reason is because Naruto has practiced under the guidance of Jiraiya for a period of time. Now that Shiyu has made such a little trick, he is naturally enlightened. After seeing that there are already many clones that can be done, Naruto also released the multiple shadow clone technique. And at the moment when it was lifted, Naruto was completely empty. Bend over your back and put your hands on your knees. Depressed and panting, as if he was about to fall down in the next second. If Naruto had been cultivating longer, he would have passed out of coma by now. Seeing this, Shiyu supported Naruto. After realizing his current state, Naruto said in a low voice. Shishiyu, why do I feel so tired? Bullshit. Shiyu gave an unhappy reply, and then said. Didn't I tell you before, the main body needs to endure Shadow Clone's experience and memory. In addition to this benefit, there is naturally a side effect. That is, the mental fatigue of all the clones will also return to the body, which is why multiple shadow clone technique is listed as forbidden technique. So it is. Naruto replied vainly. At this time he understood why multiple shadow clone technique was listed as forbidden technique. Hearing this, Shiyu said. Okay, take a good rest first. After you have enough energy, let's start practicing. Oh. Naruto gave a feeble reply, and immediately lay on the ground. After a 2-hour break, Shiyu and the 4 of them got together to eat lunch, and they did not forget to chat and laugh. Immediately after, Kakashi and Yamato continue their second phase of Sage Mode training, while Naruto is in the consolidation of the first phase of training. He just finished the first stage of training for half a day in the morning, but in the afternoon he was not in a hurry to enter the second stage of training. Instead, continue to cut the leaves. Although you absorb the memory experience of the clone, at least take time to consolidate it, so that you can do it 100%. Of course, that's just one of them. If that's the case, at most a few tries will do. But Naruto didn't, but wanted to do better. Obviously, he was stimulated by Shiyu. You must know that Shiyu's hand in the morning cut the leaf into countless pieces in an instant, but it deeply shocked him. He didn't ask himself to be like Shiyu, but he had to break through at least 2 pieces. While Shiyu and the others were practicing in an orderly manner, a monk was welcomed into the Hokage office. He is from the Fire Temple, the Kingdom of Fire. And he is thinking about Tsunade reporting the huge change in Fire Temple that their host was killed. And the one who killed the host of Open Black Lens Bracket Fire Temple Close Black Lens Bracket was not someone else, but a member of the Open Black Lens Bracket Akatsuki Close Black Lens Bracket organization. Others don't know who they are, but Tokyo is very clear. They are the so-called undead duo. Hidan and Angular, both. As for the host of Fire Temple who was killed, he is not an unknown person, and the latter is a character with a bounty of up to 3.5 million taels in the Underground World bounty list. This person is one of the 12 guardians of the Fire Kingdom, and is also a close friend of Sarutobi Asuma, the elite Jonin, Delu. Please download the ununderlined version of the novel. Chapter 368_Chase Mission. Sage Art Scrolls. In Hokage's office. After Tsunade heard the words of the monk at the Temple of Fire, Dai frowned, and the clasped hands on the table subconsciously clenched a few points. They're still here after all. Since the last time Gaara was robbed, the activities organized by Open Black Lens Bracket Akatsuki Close Black Lens Bracket have become more and more frequent. Not only the 5 major countries have their presence, but even some small countries have their traces. But they said that the places where they appear all have one thing in common, that is, the ninja villages where these countries are located all have tailed beasts. No doubt that they came for the tailed beast. Now that they have appeared in the area of Fire Country, their target is naturally Naruto, the Jinchuriki column force. Be precise, it's the Open Black Lens Bracket QB, 9 tails Close Black Lens Bracket sealed in Naruto's body. Hearing Tsunade's words, Shizune on the side said. Lord Tsunade, those guys may be looking for a hiding place for Jinchuriki column power in Fire Country. I know. Tsunade agreed, and then ordered, call all the squads still in Konoha immediately, and they must not escape from the land of fire. The purpose of Tsunade's next decision is very simple. First of all, his duty is open black lens bracket Hokage close black lens bracket, and secondly, to have a little selfishness. Open black lens bracket Jalu close black lens bracket. Although he is the host of open black lens bracket Fire Temple close black lens bracket, he is also a member of Konoha and one of the open black lens bracket 12 guardian ninjas close black lens bracket who once guarded open black lens bracket Fire Kingdom daimyo close black lens bracket. Now, not only has he been killed, but his body has also been taken away to collect a bounty. As Konoha's open black lens bracket Hokage close black lens bracket, she can't ignore it. Moreover, open black lens bracket Akatsuki close black lens bracket organization's ultimate purpose is to hunt open black lens bracket Kyubi, Nine Tails close black lens bracket. Yugong, as Hokage, she can't let open black lens bracket Kyubi, Nine Tails fell into the hands of open black lens bracket Akatsuki close black lens bracket. In private, he regards Naruto as his younger brother, and naturally he will not let Naruto fall into the situation of death. After Tsunade's order was given, the monk from the Temple of Fire also left the office. Then, Tsunade asked in a low voice, Shizune, where is Naruto now? For more than half a month, he has been practicing in Death Forest. Remember, there is no need to let him know about this. Tsunade reminded him, and then said, go on and call some Jonin to protect him. Tsunade did this obviously with only consideration. He was afraid that the Akatsuki organization was a trick. Open black lens bracket Akatsuki close black lens bracket killed one of their Konoha's open black lens bracket guardian ninja close black lens bracket with great fanfare, and then took the body to collect the bounty. Once the news is known to them, Konoha, they will definitely not give up. At that time, Konoha will definitely send elite ninjas to hunt down, and the guards in the Konoha village will be relatively weak. Their odds of success will increase. Of course, this is all just Tsunade's guess as a Hokage. As a leader, everything must be prepared with both hands. Even if the probability is small, she can't let this, what if, happened. But it turned out that she was indeed overly careful. Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Angle close black lens bracket this, undead duo. The reason why he will hunt Dalu is just because Angle is simply loving money. Shizune responded to Tsunade's order. Lord Tsunade, I don't think this is necessary. Why? Seeing Tsunade's puzzled face, Shizune immediately explained, because now Naruto's training is not only Tokiyu, but also Kakashi and Yamato. Oh, both of them are there. Tsunade murmured, thinking to himself. She naturally never doubted Shiyu's strength, but she was afraid that her fists would be invincible to four hands. If Shiyu was restrained, Naruto would probably be taken away. Why I wanted to send more people to protect Naruto. But now that Kakashi and Yamato are by the latter's side, there's no need to send other ninjas there. Sometimes when the three of them are there, Tsunade can feel relieved. Dusk, after finishing training, Tokiha, Kakashi, and Yamato three were summoned by Tsunade. The reason for this is self-evident. Naturally it's about protecting Naruto. As for the task of hunting down open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Kaku, do close black lens bracket, they naturally have nothing to do with them. But here comes the problem. Shiyu's first mission is related to these two. Mission, kill the undead duo. But Shiyu is not in a hurry, because trying to capture open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Zhao, do close black lens bracket is not an easy task. So Shiyu felt that after he taught Naruto Rasenshuriken, he would go to this undead duo. Not too late. If I set out to kill those two people now, I would have to continue teaching when I came back. Shiyu thinks it's too much trouble. He likes to solve things at one time if he can handle them. But this time, if he remembered correctly, open black lens bracket Asuma close black lens bracket should have to sacrifice. Thinking of this, Shiyu was wondering whether to save the latter's life. There are two reasons for this. First, it is because open black lens bracket Sarutobi Asuma close black lens bracket is Konoha Maru. Now the only close relative, and because of the latter's boss, he couldn't bear to see the latter alone. Not to mention that Konoha Maru is still young, just that, big brother. It was enough for Shiyu to lend a helping hand. Second, it's because of Kurenai Yuhi. I robbed his wife, so I should give the latter a little compensation. It's also because of Shikamaru, Choji and Ino's face. After having an idea in his mind, Tokiyu decided to make a sage art scroll. Its ability is the same as that of the original Otsutsuki Hagoromo, given to Otsutsuki Hagoromo, which has a huge, sage art chakra, seal. The same as paper. As long as there is a breath left, it can be restored to its original state. Possess the 100 Heroes Dragon Seal. Shiyu can usually store sage art chakra. And Shiyu won the 100 Heroes Dragon Seal. It's been more than half a month. Sage art chakra, in the body, have stockpiled quite enough to make a sage art scroll. Enough. After Tsunade and Tokiyu explained, they came to the top floor of the Hokage building. It is a small circular open square surrounded by guardrails, of which 666 huge curved stone Jinchuriki column. Looks like a visual beauty. It can be seen that the people who built this Hokage building must have put some thought into it. But this is not the point at this time. The point is that the place is full of ninjas at this time. Moreover, there is no one below Chunin. It can be seen that the difficulty of this task and the level of attention. Among these people, Tokihisa Asuma, Shikamaru, Yamashiro Aoba, Shiranui Genma, Konoha, Kamizuki Izumo, etc. Although the mission this time is still a group of 4, it is not assigned according to the original team. Like Shikamaru and Choji and Ino are separated. After seeing that all the ninjas above Konoha Chunin and above have been summoned, Tsunade has no unnecessary nonsense, and directly tells the content of this mission. After Tsunade finished speaking, Asuma was the first to raise his hand. Obviously, he was worried about what to see. Tsunade pointed out directly with one hand on his hip. Asuma, what's wrong with you? Lord Hokage. One of the original Guardian Ninja should be there. I don't know how he is now. From Asuma's words, it is clear that Tsunade hadn't informed the matter just now. Asuma's inquiry has just fallen, and Tsunade has not yet answered that. From Temple of Fire. The monk who came was the first to speak. Lord Delu, he was killed. Hearing this, Asuma fell silent for a moment. He is also one of the former 12 guardians of the Guardian Ninja, and no one knows the latter's strength better than him. Is also an elite ninja, and the latter is not weaker than him. This is why the two of them are on the bounty list. The reason why the bounty on the game is almost the same is also the reason why Asuma is shocked at the moment. Chapter 369-Nympho Ino. Tsunade jealous. Not only the fire temple was destroyed, but even the elite Jonin-like Delu died at the hands of the Akatsuki organization. Seen that the strength of the duo dispatched by open black lens bracket Akatsuki close black lens bracket should not be underestimated. Shikamaru, who was standing next to Asuma, saw the former look like this, and there was also a dignified look between his eyebrows. Obviously, he has already analyzed the opponent's strength in big words. Those two have at least the peak strength of the elite Jonin, or higher. At this moment, he finally understood why Tsunade had summoned all the powerhouses above Chunin and above where Konoha reigned. Seeing that Asuma didn't ask any more questions, Tsunade continued. What's the purpose of those guys? I'd love to know too. Regardless of the last incident at Sunagakur village or the attack on Temple of Fire, this time, one thing is certain. Their strength should not be underestimated. At this moment, I will urgently summon everyone for only one purpose. Even if I dig 3 feet into the ground, I have to find those 2 guys for me. If they can't be captured alive, they will be completely eradicated, and they must not be allowed to escape from the land of fire. Go. As Tsunade's voice fell, the teams that had already been divided into various groups dispersed one after another. However, Shikamaru and Ino were stopped by Tokyu. Shikamaru, Ino, you too, etc. Shikamaru, who was about to leave with Asuma, Gangzati, and Kamizuki Izumo, froze. Ino was also stunned, not knowing what was going on when Shiyu stopped them. They didn't know. No one present knew why Shiyu wanted to keep the 2 of them. Therefore, Tsunade and Kakashi and others can only wait for Akatsuki's answer. Seeing this, Asuma smiled and said, Shikamaru, we gather at the old place. And, Aoba Yamashiro, the team leader of Ino's team. Hearing this, he also explained. Ino, we are waiting for you at the entrance of the village. Shikamaru and Ino both nodded when they heard the words. Immediately, the 3 members of Shikamaru's team, Asuma, Gangzati, and Kamizuki Izumo, disappeared, while Ino's team, Yamashiro Aoba, Zule Tong, and Choji also left. 6 of them left. Shikamaru and Ino also walked slowly to Shiyu. Ino looked at Shiyu. A pair of beautiful eyes were glowing. They all forgot why Shiyu made them wait. Shikamaru shook his head and asked. Shiyu, what's the matter with you? It's not a big deal, it's just that I have something to hand over. Something? Shikamaru muttered, and was even more puzzled. Why did Shiyu give them something at this time? If it is something like a clue about the mission, Tsunade should have announced it in public just now. He couldn't think of a reason for a while. Come by. But Ino didn't think so much, just said with a crazy face. Shiyu, what is it? Tsunade and Shizune on the side saw Ino looking at Shiyu affectionately, and for some reason, there was an indescribable feeling in their hearts. However, their thoughts at the moment were all on Shiyu's body, and they wanted to know what the latter wanted to do. In the expectation of everyone, Shiyu's voice also sounded slowly. That's it. While speaking, Shiyu reached out and touched, and took out 2 scrolls from the ninja bag. Needless to say, it was the Sage Art Scroll. Yes, originally, Toki only planned to make 1, but after thinking about it, he decided to prepare 1 for Ino. Although he knows the general direction of the story, sometimes there will be some deviations. The saying goes, don't be afraid of 10,000, but be afraid of any eventuality. Since Ino is one of his targets, naturally he can't let her have any surprises. He doesn't want the bamboo basket to be empty. The white-haired person sends the black-haired person. Besides, once this thing is given away, it will definitely make Ino even more determined to him. Looking at the 2 Zuyuhi scrolls in Shiyu's hand, Shikamaru said in confusion. Shiyu, what is this? At this time, not only Shikamaru was puzzled, but Tsunade and Kakashi were also puzzled. Seeing this, Shiyu also cleared everyone's doubts. This is the open black lens bracket Sage Art Scroll close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket Sage Art Scroll close black lens bracket. Ino murmured, and then came a second line of doubts. What is the use of what? She and Shikamaru may not know it, but Tsunade, Kakashi and Yamato do. Although they don't know this, Sage Art Scroll. Is it for, but, Sage Art? They are not familiar with this word. Shiyu didn't hide anything from Ino's inquiry. This Sage Art Scroll contains a special kind of chakra. As long as there is 1 breath left, it can bring people back to life. When Shiyu said this, the whole audience was shocked. If it's true what Shiyu said, then this thing is too pervert. One hand, it is equivalent to having 2 lives, so they are invincible. Atmosphere fell silent for a while, and Tsunade was the first to break the silence. "Shiyu, is this true? Can she not get excited? This thing has a kind of meaning to her, a different meaning. If the original Konoha had this sage art scroll, so, then his younger brother Senju Nawaki and her lover Kato Dan will not die because of the ineffective rescue." Not only her, Kakashi and Yamato also had the same experience. Because of this, their hearts that were hard to shake were turbulent. "Breath, you can come back to life. This ability is really unbelievable." Chapter 370 The Fall of Ino. The second stage of practice. "Shiyu, is this true?" To Tsunade's question, Tokyu nodded nonchalantly. Receiving Shiyu's confirmation, the shock on everyone's face became even more intense. This news made them feel a little overwhelmed for a while. After a while, Ino asked suddenly, a question that everyone was concerned about. "Time Feather. This sage art scroll is so powerful, why don't you make a few more?" This, Shiyu turned over Byakugan in annoyance and said immediately. "You think this sage art scroll is so easy to do, but it takes a huge amount of sage art chakra to make this thing." As soon as Tokyu said this, Tsunade, Kakashi and others' previous guesses were verified. This sage art scroll is really made with sage art chakra. It's just that you can bring back the dying people proudly. How much sage art chakra is needed? They don't know, but they will definitely not be less. And the fact is, if it is simply made with sage art chakra, that the amount is indeed huge. But the problem is that Master Tokiha has the heaven-defying medical ninjutsu. So this sage art scroll, it was him who used medical ninjutsu with sage art chakra made. Also therefore, the required sage art chakra will be relatively reduced. Sage art chakra, currently stored in Shiyu's body. Amount, make 2 sage art scrolls, this way. Totally more than enough. As long as he wants, there can be more. Because he can enter sage mode at any time, so as to make enough sage art chakra. His own chakra has increased 1,000,000 times, the amount is beyond imagination. Sure enough. When Shiyu's words fell, Ino immediately raised the doubts in his heart. What is open black lens bracket sage art chakra close black lens bracket? It's very troublesome to explain this issue. I'll explain it to you slowly when you come back. Shiyu obviously expected that Ino would ask such a question, so he had already prepared his words. You are also wasting a lot of time here, hurry up and go. Shikamaru and Ino nodded when they heard Tokyu's words. When leaving, Shikamaru did not forget to thank Shiyu. Shiyu, thank you. This is what I specially prepared for this operation, just for the two of you to keep it safe. So, you don't have to be polite to me. The reason why Shiyu said this was just for the sake of listening. It sounds like he's prepared for everyone, but in fact he's prepared for the two of them. Otherwise, why let him take care of it? Asuma can't do it, Yamashiro Aoba can't do it, Shiranui Genma, etc. Jonin can also do it. But why Shiyu chose the two of them, Chunin, is self-evident. It's real time. It doesn't matter who you wants to give it to, what he said is nothing more than a step for the two of them. Once this is exposed, them are just custodians, and they won't make others feel like they are being treated specially. After all, this is a collective action, and Shiyu is more thoughtful. Shikamaru definitely understands. As for Ino, it is difficult to understand the reason, so she was a little lost. But Shiyu doesn't have to worry at all, because this explanation will be done for him. Sure enough. When Shikamaru and Ino left, the latter got a little help from the former, and his mood suddenly brightened. Result, Ino became more and more fascinated by Tokyu. And with Ino and Shikamaru leaving, only Tokyu and his party of 5 were left in the square on the top floor of the Hokage building. Tsunade's gaze turned away from where Shikamaru and the others disappeared, and then fell on Tokiha. Apparently, she's still thinking about Sage Art Scrolls. Thing. In addition to being relieved, her eyes had already produced a touch of affection, but it was well hidden by it. At the same time, Shikamaru has arrived at what Asuma calls the old place. Now, that's where they used to gather for missions. Seeing Shikamaru, Asuma asked curiously. Shikamaru, why did that kid Shiu leave you and Ino behind? Gives us a good one. Good stuff. Asuma snorted in surprise, and the curiosity in his heart became a little stronger. Bring out something good for me to see. Hearing Asuma's words, Gangzi Tai and Kamizuki Azuma were also curious, and their eyes stayed on Shikamaru. This thing, I hope I don't use it. Shikamaru said something meaningful, but did not put the Sage Art Scroll. The incident with Asuma Trio 3 narrated. Not only on Shikamaru's side, but also on Ino's side. Obviously, the two of them have discussed it, and don't tell others about it for the time being. After all, Shiyu only gave them two. Shikamaru didn't want to say it, and Asuma and the others didn't ask questions either. Immediately after, they are heading towards the Temple of Fire, obviously wanting to start from the place of origin, tracking. The second day. Since Tokiha, Kakashi, and Yamato 3 went to Death Forest, as usual, Naruto didn't notice anything unusual. In order to prevent Tokiyu from discovering something, Tokiyu and Kakashi discussed it. Decided to live directly in the Forest of Death during this time. For this proposal, Naruto raised both hands in approval. As long as he can use all the available time to cultivate, Naruto will not have any meaning. Moreover, this was proposed by Shiyu, so naturally he would not object. Today, Naruto is about to start the second stage of the Wind Attribute Nature Transformation practice. Chapter 371-Cut the Waterfall. A man with all attributes and all grandmasters. Shiyu, what are you practicing in the second stage? Cut the waterfall. When Shiyu said these words, Naruto was instantly dumbfounded. According to common sense, the liquid-like waterfall obviously cannot be cut off. Seeing Naruto's doubts, Kakashi, the instructor, explained. Of course ordinary methods won't work, all you have to do is cut it off with the wind attribute chakra current. This is what Tokiyu calls cut waterfall. And to do this, you have to do an amazing nature transformation in an instant. When Kakashi's voice fell, Yamato seemed still puzzled when he saw Naruto, so he agreed. Simply put, a large amount of wind attribute chakra erupted in an instant. As long as you can pass this level, you can start practicing the escape technique. Hearing Kakashi and Yamato's words, Naruto probably understood what was going on. Seeing this, Shiyu's heart flashed with relief. It is indeed not an easy task to be able to figure out what is going on with Naruto. At this moment, Tokiyu was a little fortunate that Kakashi and Yamato were there. To explain it to Naruto alone, it would be too much trouble. After what happened, Naruto had a new question in his heart. Naruto glanced around, and found that there were only rivers and no waterfalls at all. Shiyu, there doesn't seem to be a waterfall here. No, it can be made. Shiyu's voice just fell, and then he started to show his skills. I saw Shiyu snapped his fingers, and then the earth began to shake. Next second, a regular piece of soil suddenly rose from the ground, with a height of several tens of meters, like a city wall. Not only that, but there is a gap in the river channel in the middle of the city wall. Seeing this scene, Kakashi was shocked. This is Doden, Earth-style, rampart of flowing soil. As soon as Kakashi finished speaking, Naruto snapped his second fingers again. Pop! Immediately, Kakashi and the others saw a stream of water suddenly appear in the center of the towering earth wall, rolling down from the top, just forming a waterfall. Upon seeing this, Yamato let out an equally astonished cry. This is open black lens bracket Sweden, water style, waterfall pool technique close black lens bracket. Kakashi and Yamato were surprised for a reason, it wasn't Tokiyu who were surprised. These two kinds of ninjutsu are nature transformation, of the two attributes of earth attribute and water attribute as long as the master, and morphological changes. A ninja can do it. But the problem is that Shiyu didn't have a hand seal just now, but just snapped his fingers. This is very scary. They have seen hand seal super fast. They have seen one-handed hand seal, but there is no result that ninjutsu can be performed without hand seal. But Naruto was shocked because it was different from the two of them. Wow, there's actually a waterfall. Naruto only looks at the surface, while Kakashi and Yamato look at the essence through phenomena. After an exclamation, Naruto also asked, Kakashi-sensei, does this mean that Shiyu has mastered the nature transformation of two attributes? Not only have you forgotten that Shiyu still has Futon, wind style, and Kaden, fire style, not counting derived attributes? Shiyu has already mastered at least 4 attributes of nature transformation. Kakashi still doesn't know that Tokyu will do open black lens bracket Raiden, thunder style, close black lens bracket, but he did not deny that Tokyu will not do open black lens bracket Raiden, thunder style, close black lens bracket. Moreover, Shiyu also has yin and yang attributes as a master. That's why he used, at least, this word. There are 5 basic attributes: wind, thunder, water, fire, and earth. Naruto between the words snapped his fingers, as if he was thinking about something. When he snapped 4 fingers, he finally said, Shiyu, you have now mastered the changes in the 4 attributes of wind, fire, water, and earth. It's just a matter of lightning attribute. Do you know this kind of attribute? Naruto in the conversation was full of expectations. If Shiyu could even know lightning attribute, then the latter is an all-attribute ninja. Of course, since Naruto doesn't know the existence of yin and yang attributes, there is still some misunderstanding about all attributes. Naruto doesn't know, but Kakashi and Yamato do. Since Shiyu can use demonic illusion and medical ninjutsu, he must have yin attribute and yang attribute. Also therefore, after hearing Naruto's question, the two of them also looked forward to it. They want to know if Tokyu is an all-attribute ninja, or if Tokyu is a full-attribute, all-grandmaster ninja. Please download the underlined version of the novel. Thank you, Xuanchuan Leo T for the reward. Thank you, Xuanchuan Leo T for the reward. Thank you, Xuanchuan Leo T for the reward. Summer Reading 1010 Music. Charge 100 and get 500 coupons. Immediate top-up event time, August 7th to August 9th. Chapter 372_new, Reikiri. Warehouse, with you. No, there are only 444 Konoha all-attribute ninjas. That is the 3rd generation of ninjutsu Professor Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, the 2nd generation of forbidden technique developer Hokage Senju Tobarama, the father of scientific ninjutsu Sanino Rochimaru, and Konoha technician copy ninja Hitaki Kakashi. 2nd generation, 3rd generation, and Orochimaru have already died, and now Konoha is only left with Kakashi, an all-attribute ninja. However, although the 4 of them are all ninjas with all attributes, only 3 generations are all grandmasters with all attributes. Why he won the Professor of Ninjutsu the title. As for the 2nd generation, although he is good at developing ninjutsu, he is not a grandmaster in a few attributes. Just like Kakashi, although he is an all-attribute ninja. But his grandmaster is the most grandmaster, Raiden, thunder style, followed by Suiten, water style, Kaden, fire style, and Doden, earth style. As for open black lens bracket Futon, wind style, close black lens bracket, it is the last time. But in addition to the basic 5 attributes, there are also 2 special attributes, yin and yang, which represent open black lens bracket spiritual strength close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket physical strength close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket yin escape close black lens bracket mainly manifested as open black lens bracket demonic illusion close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket pupil technique close black lens bracket and so on. Open black lens bracket Yongdun close black lens bracket is mainly manifested as open black lens bracket medical ninjutsu close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket regeneration close black lens bracket and so on. Kakashi is even less good at these two types of escapism. So they are only full-type ninjas, but they are not full-type grandmasters. 3 generations of Hokage. Although ninjutsu has not shown all attributes, since Kishimoto gave him Professor Ninjutsu. The title shows that he has this strength. Also therefore, in the eyes of all ninjas in Konoha, only open black lens bracket 3 Hokage close black lens bracket is the expert of all types of ninjutsu by Grandmaster. So far, no one has been able to surpass it in this regard. But now, they may have one standing in front of them. Therefore, Kakashi and Yamato are extremely curious about whether Tokiha can have lightning attribute ninjutsu. Other words, it is an expectation. It would undoubtedly be a beautiful thing to be able to witness a ninja with all attributes and all grandmasters again. The expectations of Naruto, Kakashi, and Yamato 3, Tokyu's voice also sounded slowly. Yes. These two simple words made Kaka stunned. Especially Kakashi and Yamato. Naruto may not know what this means. But they are clear. If Tokyu's words are true, then he is undoubtedly a perfect ninja. Pervert's amazingly large and suffocating strength, coupled with the ability of all attributes and grandmasters. This kind of existence is undoubtedly the second after open black lens bracket 6 paths immortal close black lens bracket. At this moment, Kakashi and Yamato's increasingly determined Shiyu is the turn of open black lens bracket 6 paths immortal close black lens bracket. Things of the world. No way. Shiyu is too perfect, to the point of heinous perfection. If they insist on denying this conclusion, unless 6 paths immortal personally stands in front of them. Otherwise, they can't find any other reason. Speaking of lightning attribute, I suddenly heard something. Shiyu muttered to himself, then looked at Kakashi and said, Kakashi-sensei. I'll make a little change to your Reikiri, a ninjutsu that can be used as usual without the need for Sharingan. If you are interested, you can try it. Voice fell, Shiyu stretched out his hand out of thin air. Immediately after, half of his arm was integrated into the space, looking like a broken arm. This space is neither the Kamui space nor the charming mood space, but Shiyu created a different space by himself. A different space of his own, similar to the one made by open black lens bracket Otsutsuki Kagaya close black lens bracket. And Shiyu is using this different space as your own portable warehouse, which is similar to Fantasy World storage ring in. But the former is more extravagant than the latter. Others are just a small space of a few squares or dozens or hundreds of squares, but Shiyu is directly a different space. This different space. It's like Fantasy World. Small world. In general, its size can be seen in general. Seeing this, Kakashi and Naruto were not too surprised. Because the two of them know that Master Tokiha has the Kamui of Mangekyo Sharingan, which can make oneself or part of the body empty and enter Kamui space. Although Kakashi and Naruto weren't too surprised, Yamato, who didn't know Tokiha's master open black lens bracket Kamui close black lens bracket, this special open black lens bracket pupil art close black lens bracket, had a strange look on his face. Because as far as he knows, Hiraishin's art is not like this. But he is surprised, but he will not show too much shock now. Obviously, he is immune. Since Shiyu has learned the time and space ninjutsu, such as Hiraishin's art, it is reasonable to have several masters. However, he didn't make a sound of surprise, and Kakashi suddenly found a clue. Because at this time, Shiyu's pupils are still black, and it does not reveal Mangekyo Sharingan. That is to say, now Tokiyu is not using Kamui but other time and space ninjutsu, a kind of time and space ninjutsu that he has never seen before. Please download Faye. Chapter 373 _ Purple Electricity. Sumina Mustard Art. Between Kakashi's astonishment, Tokiyu's arm was already drawn out of the other dimension. At this moment, there was something in Shiyu's hand. That's a purple scroll! Exclamation mark. Needless to say, what's in this scroll is the revised version of Reikiri that Tokiyu just said. Kakashi was the first to speak after being slightly surprised. Shiyu, what you used just now should be a new kind of time and space ninjutsu. Shiyu nodded, and then said, this is a kind of time-space ninjutsu that I developed by myself, which is specially used to store things in a different dimension. It's like a portable warehouse, it's much more convenient to go out. As soon as Shiyu said this, Kakashi's three people were instantly dumbfounded. Develop your own warehouse __. This sentence, Kakashi and the others can still accept it. After all, with Shiyu's talent, it's not difficult to do this, but the last sentence is really disrespectful. It's hard for others to learn a time and space ninjutsu, so you're better off. The development of a high-level, space-time ninjutsu, is especially for the convenience of storing things. This is something that people do, but when they think about it, they are relieved. Because Tokiyu is indeed not an ordinary person. Of course, this is just the point of Kakashi and Yamato's shock. Naruto and the two of them are shocked for completely different reasons. He just thinks Tokiyu is too awesome. Using a different dimension as a portable warehouse is undoubtedly a big deal. If I also have such a portable warehouse that can explode the sky, it must be cool, and that guy Sasuke will definitely be compared by me. Hee. Naruto muttered to himself, and couldn't help but snicker to himself. Immediately after, his eyes fell on Shi, and he was extremely excited. Time feather. What kind of ninjutsu is this, can you teach me? This is the Sumina mustard art. This name was obtained by Shiyu himself, and Dao has a word called Sumina mustard. Can be described as an all-encompassing space. Therefore, Shiyu named it after this. Learning this art is not an easy matter. For now, you should practice Rasenshuriken first and then talk about it. Not that Shiyu doesn't want to teach, it's just that the technique is too difficult. Not to mention Naruto, even Kakashi may not be able to learn it. If you want to learn this ninjutsu, you must have extraordinary attainments in space-time ninjutsu. Because this is not an ordinary time and space ninjutsu, but an advanced different space-type time and space ninjutsu. Therefore, its difficulty is quite high. If Naruto has the same talent as 4th Hokage, Shiyu may give some pointers. But it is a pity that Naruto is difficult to even hand seal. Trying to learn this Sumina mustard art is simply as difficult as going to the sky. Shiyu doesn't need a hand seal, that's because he has realized a certain level. If other people open this different space channel, they must cooperate with the hand seal. But Shiyu didn't want to hit Naruto's emotions all at once, so he cultivated the futon wind-style spiral in his hands. Sword for the sake of sending it away first. Immediately after, Tokiyu's gaze fell on Kakashi and handed him the purple scroll in his hand. Kakashi-sensei. This is a revised version of open black lens bracket Reikiri close black lens bracket. I gave him a new name, open black lens bracket purple electric close black lens bracket. This is a Raiden Thunder style ninjutsu that can be performed perfectly without relying on Sharingan, and it can be activated without a hand seal. There are two ways to activate this technique. The first is to focus the purple lightning on the hand and then slash the target, which is extremely powerful. The second is to release a large area of purple electricity around to paralyze the opponent. It has a wide range and belongs to all-round attack. In short, it has two attack methods. Single and group. This is for me. Kakashi's words were hesitant, and he was obviously at a loss for a while. Kakashi-sensei. Your open black lens bracket Reikiri close black lens bracket is too fast. If you don't have the blessing of open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket, it will easily cause damage to your body. But using Sharingan is too expensive for you. But purple lightning is different. it can be performed perfectly without relying on Sharingan, and it doesn't need a hand seal. First of all, without open black lens bracket Sharingan close black lens bracket, it is also a perfect display, which undoubtedly overcomes the drawbacks of open black lens bracket Reikiri close black lens bracket. Secondly, coupled with the advantage of not requiring hand seal, it makes such a ninjutsu will become more practical. If you are in a bad fight, if it is too late for hand seal, or if hand seal is slower than others, the result is likely to be death. The duel of the real powerhouse, the victory and defeat are often only in the blink of an eye. Just like the original Peachland No Slash, he lost to Kakashi for the first time because hand seal was too slow. Seeing Kakashi a little embarrassed, Tokiyu said again, "Kakashi-sensei, please accept it quickly." "Kakashi-senpai, you have been let down by Shiyu's kindness." Yamato also agreed. "Yes, Kakashi-sensei." Naruto also helped, and then said, "You quickly accept it, otherwise, my cultivation will be delayed again." In response, Kakashi reached out and took it. Kakashi looked at the purple scroll in his hand, and then he spat out a word. "Shiyu, thank you." "Kakashi-sensei, you are too vulgar. Didn't you yourself say that a team should help each other?" Shiyu said with a smile. Kakashi, who heard the words, was stunned for a moment, and there was a smile on his face, a smile that was both happy and relieved. He is glad to be able to have a student like Shiyu, and he is glad that he is fortunate enough to be the instructor of the 7th class. Otherwise, it is impossible for him to meet such an excellent student as Shiyu. Shiyu wasn't talking nonsense either. He saw his gaze fell on the cliff waterfall that was created out of thin air. Hand, open black lens bracket Mokuden, wood style close black lens bracket manifest. Fei Lu reminds you. Chapter 374 _ Bounty Exchange. The inevitable battle. After Shiyu cast open black lens bracket Mokuden, wood style close black lens bracket. Of rampart of flowing soil, which is a few dozen meters away, a plank road entirely made of wood. Undoubtedly, this is the result of Tokiyu's use of open black lens bracket Mokuden, wood style close black lens bracket. Seeing this scene, Kakashi and Yamato finally believed in a fact. Because whether it is Kakashi or Yamato, they just heard that Shiyu will be Mokuden, wood style, but they have never seen the latter use it with their own eyes. Although they knew that Shiyu didn't lie, there was always a little doubt in their hearts. People are like this, they like seeing is believing. After the wooden bridge was built, Shiyu said, "Naruto, let's get started." Hearing the words, Naruto was stunned for a moment, and then his eyes were withdrawn from the wooden bridge that was only a dozen meters away. "Shiyu, isn't that wooden bridge a little short?" In Naruto's view, a wooden bridge with a length of more than 10 meters can only stand a few dozen people at most. Result, the cultivation efficiency will obviously be lower. When Shiyu heard the words, he said, "Don't worry. The first stage of training is because you have trained before, plus 1,000 times the cultivation method. So, you're done in half a day. But the second stage of training is much more difficult than the first stage. Most people basically spend several years to completely master a property of nature transformation. The so-called haste is not enough, you have to spend an hour or two to get used to it first. When you are familiar with the difficulty of this second stage of cultivation, I will naturally meet your needs." Hearing Shiyu's words, Naruto grinned. "That's good, hee." Voice fell, Naruto stopped talking nonsense. Ha. After a few jumps, I came to the wooden bridge with a length of tens of meters. Then directly cast Shadow Clone to start the second stage of this wind attribute nature transformation practice. As Naruto began to cut the waterfall, the training, Kakashi and Yamato also started the second stage of open black lens bracket Sage Mode close black lens bracket. Do-on practice. Time flies, half a day is fleeting. Afternoon. Shiyu met Naruto's needs, and when he raised his hand, he expanded the rampart of flowing soil, which was originally only a few dozen meters wide, to several hundred meters. Not only that. The waterfall, which was only a dozen meters in the middle, was now fully covered. Except, rampart of flowing soil. And, waterfall. The widening of the bridge, the wooden bridge in the middle is also extended. With a length of several hundred meters is enough to accommodate thousands of people. Fortunately, this, death forest. Big enough, otherwise, this move is bound to attract some people's attention. Naruto was also very excited about this. And after launching such a large-scale ninjutsu, Shiyu's whole person is still alive and well, as if nothing has happened. For this, Kakashi and Yamato were quite shocked. They knew that Tokiyu's chakra volume was amazing, but they didn't expect it to be so thick. If you say Naruto and Kyuubi, 9 tails. The chakra of Yu is 100 times theirs. At that time Yu's chakra was definitely 1,000 times, 10,000 times, or even higher. While Shiyu and the others were cultivating, Shikamaru and the others had already found the traces of open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket Kaku, do close black lens bracket. The information they got in the Temple of Fire was exactly the same as what Tsunade said, and the body of Jalu was taken away. According to Shikamaru's analysis, Hidan and Kaku, both should be rushing to the bounty exchange in the underground world at the moment. After they checked the information, they found that there are many places like this in the Land of Fire. However, there are only 5 places closest to the open black lens bracket Temple of Fire close black lens bracket. After some discussions, they left and made a decision. I saw Gang Ziti released 4 ninja. Let them fly to the other 444 squads that are being hunted. In this way, they will not miss the 5 bounty exchanges. As expected. Everything was as expected by Shikamaru and the others, and Kaku, both, and Hidan went to one of these nowhere. It was the Asuma team who found them. An unavoidable battle is about to take place. To read the ununderlined version of the novel. Chapter 375_Battle Hidan. Spell, Immortality. House of Fire, a few hundred miles to the northeast, outside a ruined building. At this time, Shikamaru, Asuma, Gangzitai and Kamizuki Azuma were in ambush outside, their eyes fixed on the toilet exit of the building in front of them. A place like the Bounty Exchange is almost always a place that is unknown or extremely difficult to find. And the Bounty Exchange here is hidden in the toilet of this long ruined building. Only ninjas who are familiar with the doorway of the underground world will know that there is a secret door. After Shikamaru and the others were in ambush for a while, a figure walked out of them carelessly. This person wears a black yuhi cloud robe, with a large gray back, purple yuhi eyes, and a ninja forehead hanging around his neck. It was the ninja forehead guard of Tangian village, but there was already a scratch on it. That's the mark of being missing nin. In addition, he has a necklace hanging around his neck. Evil God necklace, a token of evil God sect. But that's not the point. The point is a yuhi-colored 3-edged scythe on his back. Its name is Bloody March Scythe. They may not know this person Shikamaru, but if Tokyo sees it, they will be able to recognize it at a glance. The latter is the undead duo. One of the open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket. After leaving the toilet, open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket sit directly on the steps in front of the building, complaining with an unhappy face. It stinks. Stayed in that shitty place. Less than 5 minutes and the clothes were all stained with that disgusting smell. Between the words, open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket sniffed his own cuff, and then hurriedly took off his arm. At this moment, Asuma suddenly appeared behind open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket. Jiao, you are so slow. Hidan complained. Obviously, he thought the person who appeared was his partner. However, Asuma seized this opportunity and threw several lily swords directly. Seeing that the shuriken was about to hit open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket, the latter made a strange turn. Swish. The bloody march scythe behind the back suddenly swung, and the chain on it instantly bounced off the shuriken, and the blade also attacked Asuma. Hidan's strength is not strong in the Akatsuki organization. If it wasn't for the Master's Curse Death Division with Blood Trick, he wouldn't be able to enter the Akatsuki organization at all. Excluding this trick, open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket is the level of English Jonin. Besides, there is only open black lens bracket Taijutsu close black lens bracket. As for open black lens bracket ninjutsu close black lens bracket and open black lens bracket demonic illusion close black lens bracket and so on, I am not very good at it. Open black lens bracket curse close black lens bracket is his only trump card. Boom. The open black lens bracket bloody march side close black lens bracket thrown by Hidan didn't hit Asuma, it just landed on his side. Obviously, he was dodged. As an elite Jonin, Asuma still has some responsiveness. Otherwise, the previous Hidan would not have been able to block Asuma's shuriken in that situation. Of course. Even if open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket does not stop him, he will be fine. Because he has immortality. The man, who does not know what kind of power this is, only knows that it is from the cult of the evil gods. Special abilities inherited there. It is estimated that it is a magic body. A cursed body. But this is just speculation. No one knows what the truth is, because open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket never mentions it to others. Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket after the first hit was missed, I wanted to attack again. But he was shocked to find that his body seemed to be out of control at this moment, as if it was fixed by something. What's going on? Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket maybe he doesn't know what happened, but his underground shadow seems to be integrated into something. There is no doubt that this is Shikamaru's handwriting. Open black lens bracket shadow mimicry close black lens bracket the binding ability. Launched an attack. Shoo, shoo, I saw the two of them attacking Hidan from the left and right in an instant. With the strength of the elite Chunin, their speed is not impossible. No accident, the kunai in the hands of Gangzitai and Kamizuki Izumo directly stabbed the key point of open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket. Although the two gods Shikamaru and Konoha are only teaming up for the first time, their cooperation is so seamless. Obviously, they should have communicated well beforehand. Seeing this, Asuma said with a hint of joy on his face. Fixed one. Indeed, if he were to be tricked by any normal person, the result would be absolutely certain death. But unfortunately, open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket is not a normal person. Just when Shikamaru, Gangzati, and Kamizuki Izumo were not happy with the tacit cooperation of the three of them, open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket sounded. Huh, it hurts. By the way, who are you? Between the words, Hidan's eyes swept to Asuma for a moment, and there was no sign of injury at all. Hidan, as soon as these words came out, the four of Asuma were shocked. They never thought that they were stabbed to the point. The Hidan turned out to be nothing, as if he was not stabbed at all. How could this be? I've clearly stabbed him to the core. As for the doubts of Gangzati, open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket has no interest at all, staring at the former with a bit of annoyance. Don't turn the knife. I can't die, but it hurts. Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket, Kamizuki Izumo on the other side murmured. Is this guy a mortal body? Yo, you saw it. Hidan responded to the latter, and then asked the first question again. Who the hell are you? Chapter 376 inches Kakuzu, appears. QB 9 Tails, mode. Who the hell are you? Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket, Shikamaru said very stubbornly. We are the ninjas of Konoha. I was ordered to come to arrest or eradicate you. While Shikamaru spoke, Asuma was alert all around. Because according to the information they got, The Akatsuki organization basically works together for a long time with two members. They originally wanted to get rid of the Hidan first, but they never thought that the latter would have such a special ability. Where's your partner? Just after Asuma's questioning fell, Shikamaru felt an extremely cold killing intent enveloped him. Seems that the next second is about to fall into the abyss. No doubt, this is undoubtedly the killing intent of Kaku-do. As a bounty hunter, who often hunts ninjas in exchange for money. Angular-do, naturally, he has accumulated a strong murderous aura. At this moment, cold sweat broke out on Shikamaru's face. Boom! A punch hit the ground, and the dust flew up. After the smoke and dust dissipated, the place that was hit by the heavy punch had already sunk deeply into it. However, there is no Shikamaru figure in it. That's because the moment Kaku-do appeared behind him just now, Shikamaru had already sensed it, so he managed to avoid a blow. However, because Shikamaru evaded attacks, his shadow imitation technique was broken. And Hidan also gained freedom of movement because of this, which should be the reason why Kaku-do chose Shikamaru as the first attack target. Seeing that Shikamaru's ninjutsu was broken, Asuma hurriedly shouted. Little Iron, Azumo. Come back soon. Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket. S ability is so strange, and now open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket has regained the ability to act, and on the side there is open black lens bracket horn, all close black lens bracket eyeing. Of course he couldn't let Gangzitai and Kamizuki Azumo stay by their side. Asuma 4 got together and began to redevelop the battle plan. And at this moment, Zhao-du's gaze also fell on the 4 of them. Next second, his eyes locked on Asuma, to be precise, the Land of Fire heraldry mark on Asuma's waist belt. It was for this reason that the corners of his mouth evoked a sharp arc. Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket. It's rare for you to have money with you this time. What is open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket interested in the so-called money of open black lens bracket do close black lens bracket, he is only interested in Matsuri ritual. Zhao-du don't take action. I want them to do, as for the money, it's yours. I can't ask for it. Zhao-du responded with a sound, and then said, however, don't be too careless. Otherwise, you will die. The corner, all between the words kept his eyes on Asuma, and obviously did not underestimate the latter. This point, he has learned from Delu. The same as the 12 guardians of the Fire Kingdom, naturally they have extraordinary strength. In hunting. When. If it weren't for the spell power of Hidan they wouldn't be able to kill the latter so easily. Elite Jonin is not so easy to kill. After all, the strength of Zhao-du is only comparable to Hokage level. Level only. At the same time. Open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket. S-foot open black lens bracket curse blood array close black lens bracket has been outlined, just waiting to lick the opponent's blood. And Shikamaru, Asuma and others have also formulated a new battle plan, and the real battle is about to break out. Immediately after. The two sides no longer have any unnecessary nonsense, some are just a duel between curse and ninjutsu. When Shikamaru and they got into a tough battle. Open black lens bracket Konoha Forest of Death close black lens bracket, Shiyu is lying comfortably under the shade of a tree, enjoying the coolness comfortably. Now Kakashi and Yamato's training is no longer needed by him, and the second stage of Naruto's training is getting better. Apart from consuming chakras, this practice has no other dangers. Therefore, Shiyu is now at ease. Shiyu retracted his gaze from the hundreds of Naruto, looked at the blue sky, and muttered to himself. I don't know if Shikamaru and the others have met the immortal duo. And just as Tokyo was muttering, Naruto started to use Kyubi, Nine Tails chakra because his chakra was exhausted. Open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails chakra close black lens bracket in practice is definitely a luxury. After all, there are only 12 chances, one is less than once. Moreover, Naruto has used more than half of it. This trump card Naruto is naturally extremely cherished, and naturally he will not use it unless it is a last resort. But this time, Shiyu agreed. Otherwise, Naruto will not waste an opportunity. The reason for Shiyu's decision is very simple. With his current strength, it is very simple to make open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails close black lens bracket surrender. So, this opportunity is completely useless. You can use it. Once it is used up, teach Naruto Master QB, 9 tails mode directly. At this moment, the 100-jong-wide waterfall wooden bridge seemed to be cut off by a Yuhi-on. Undoubtedly, this Yuhi-mang is open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails chakra close black lens bracket. Because of open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails chakra close black lens bracket, domineering and terror, Kakashi and Yamato who were in the training are awakened from it. Obviously, they sense this powerful energy. The appearance of this scene made them completely believe in a fact. That is, Tokyu and Naruto really made an agreement with open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails close black lens bracket. Otherwise, Naruto at this time cannot be safe and unscrupulously squandering open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails chakra close black lens bracket. Open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails close black lens bracket supplying chakra to Naruto. Naruto's training progress has naturally been significantly improved. To the need for sufficient chakra support for cultivation, Naruto originally only divided hundreds of clones to cultivate together. But at this moment, with open black lens bracket QB, 9 tails chakra close black lens bracket as the backing, the number of clones instantly increased by several hundred. The number of people directly broke through the 1,000 mark, which is not scary. At this moment, it is the real practice of 1,000 times. And looking at this amazing scene of heaven and man, Kakashi and Yamato are unable to calm down and cultivate. Chapter 377-Death by Blood. Conjuring Spears. When Naruto's training progressed rapidly, Shikamaru and Asuma were already in a tough fight. Because Asuma is a bounty character on the bounty list, and is the captain of this arresting team. So, Hidan first aimed at him. Because of Hidan's fighting style that Asuma was not familiar with, he was scratched by the latter's cheek, bloody March side. Everyone doesn't care about this. Only Core, Do, and Hidan represent what this represents, but it's understandable, after all, they don't know what Hidan's specific abilities are. So far, they only know that Hidan is difficult was killed. But as for whether the latter really has an immortal body, is not yet certain. When Hidan was licking blood, Asuma took advantage of this gap and displayed open black lens bracket Kaden, fire style, ash accumulation burning close black lens bracket. Spit out a cloud of high temperature soot from the mouth, which will cause high temperature damage to the enemy after the soot falls, and explode after a period of time. A class peak technique. To become a Jonin, you must have at least 2 types of escape techniques from the master. Asuma is best at open black lens bracket futon, wind style close black lens bracket, open black lens bracket Kaden, fire style close black lens bracket second. As for Hidan's behavior of licking blood, Asuma immediately thought that it might be the latter's hobby, or a fighting habit. Boom! With the sound of another explosion, Hidan's whole body was instantly shrouded in the thick fog scattered by the soot. Immediately after, an unexpected voice entered the ears of Shikamaru and the others, causing them to look puzzled. It hurts. Is it? Voice fell, and the thick fog that enveloped Hidan gradually dissipated. However, when Shikamaru and the others saw Hidan's figure again, a huge change took place. The original beautiful face now has only 2 colors of black and white. Not only that, but his whole body was like that. No doubt that Hidan has used the curse death. Seeping Shay. Seeing this, Shikamaru and others thought that this was obviously some kind of ninjutsu from Hidan, but what surprised them the most was not this, but the fact that Asuma at the moment had suffered the same injury. How could this be? How could Captain Asuma get scalded? Tai and Kamizuki Azuma were shocked, while Shikamaru was lost in thought. Could it be? At the same time, Hidan, who stood up, let out a sneer. How? Now you can more or less feel the pain of others. Words. Asuma had a solemn look on his face, and as the person involved, he knew it best. He did get the same injury as Hidan. My hands are the same as his. Did you get hit by his trick? Just as Asuma was analyzing, Hidan's laughter sounded slowly. You have been cursed by me. Ritual, this begins. Come on, come with me to the ultimate pain. Hidan between the words was full of madness, making the expressions on the faces of Shikamaru and Asuma even more solemn. Because in addition to horn, all four of them knew what the black and white lines that appeared on Hidan were used, and Hidan didn't give them any extra space to think, and they were already ready to start self-harm. As the voice fell, he directly took out a pitch-black spear from his arms, which was one of the weapons of open black lens bracket Hidan close black lens bracket. This jet black spear has a telescopic function, usually about 20 centimeters, and it is about 120 centimeters long when extended. Usually Hidan always put it on the left side of the clothes. Exclamation mark. It's not an attack, but a weapon used to injure itself when casting a curse. Title. Spell Spear. There are 3 things you can do when you read. Chapter 378-2-Tailed Jinchuriki Column Force. Shadow Strangulation. Seeing that Hidan has successfully performed the Curse Death Division with blood, Zhao Duna's eyes flashed with joy. In this case, 35 million will be available. In his opinion, as long as the curse of Hidan is hit, people will surely die. Two-tailed people Jinchuriki column force Nitique people still died from this technique, not to mention Asuma who has no tailed beast as a backing. Asuma's bounty is better than Earthland. It is 5 million tails higher than that, but obviously there is no big difference in strength. So, he thinks the bounty has no suspense. Meanwhile, take out the curse spear. Hidan laughed wildly, making him panic. Ha 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 ha. It's ready, it's going to hurt a lot. You better be enlightened. Hidan's words, Asuma's solemn eyes suddenly narrowed. Ring knife, directly from his body. That is his weapon and his killing technique. Combined with the wind attribute that he is best at, he can instantly give the opponent a fatal blow. With a sound of breaking through the air, Asuma rushed towards Hidan. However, in the next second, a strange scene appeared. Under the stunned eyes of Shikamaru and others, Hidan used the spear of magic in his hand. Through his left leg. But that wasn't what surprised them the most. To their astonishment, Asuma, who rushed towards Hidan, suddenly fell to the ground, making a sound of pain. Wow! But that's not the point is that Asuma's left leg has bloodstains flowing out at the moment. That position with Hidan's left leg being curse spear. The locations that it runs through are generally the same, which is incredible. Captain Asuma is holding his left leg right. That guy also pierced his left leg, there should be something to do with it. At this time, Gangzi Tai and Kamizuki Azuma made some simple judgments based on what they were looking at. Shikamaru, who has always been calm and intelligent, he seems to have seen a clue at this time. Seeing Asuma fall to the ground and let out a scream, Hidan's frantic laughter sounded again. Ha ha ha, it hurts. If I had targeted the key points before, it would have been different. However, this pain is the best. Only if you have experienced enough pain will you be brave enough to face death. And my body can feel the pain of others before they die, and it can undoubtedly make me feel a kind of pleasure beyond death. Hearing what Hidan said, plus the injury on his left leg, Asuma has discovered why he was injured for no reason. That's it. That guy somehow connected his body to mine. The most crucial point is that that guy is immortal. And between Asuma's analysis, Hidan is ready to self-mutilate again. I saw him holding up the curse spear in his hand. And then sneered at Asuma. Next, you want to feel pain in that area. Or, say you want to end the pain straight away. Hearing Hidan's words, Gangzi-tai hurriedly said to Shikamaru. Shikamaru. Shadow Scene who can't use physical attacks, quickly use shadow strangulation technique to block that guy's actions. However, Shikamaru was already doing it. Apparently, he also thought of this. Also therefore, in the hands of Hidan, the magic spear that is about to penetrate the heart suddenly stopped just a few centimeters away from the chest. Obviously, Shikamaru has succeeded. Shikamaru is also very relieved about this. Hey, it's good to catch up. Not only Shikamaru has this performance, but also Gangzi-tai and Kamizuki Izumo. Upon seeing this, the two also praised Shikamaru. Good job, Shikamaru. Nice job. At this moment, they suddenly understood why only Shikamaru became Chunin in the Chunin exam that was interrupted 3 years ago. The reason. At this time, Hidan had a ferocious expression on his face and cursed. Damn. Between the words, Hidan began to struggle violently, trying to use brute force to break free from Shikamaru's bondage. Shikamaru's shadow strangulation jutsu is very powerful, but if a ninja's own strength is too strong, he can break free from its shackles. Under Hidan's struggle, Shikamaru's forehead was full of blue veins. Obviously, restraining Hidan is not an easy task. At this moment, Asuma has risen from the ground. I saw him resting on the ground with one hand and asked. Azumo, how long has it been since your request? Asuma and others had already sent a message long before they started with Hidan. Tell is rushing to the other 444 inches bounty exchanges. The Manhunt Squad, the undead duo. On their side. Not that Asuma doesn't believe in the strength of their squad, it's just that the Akatsuki members are really strong. Let him have to be cautious, but also just in case. Moreover, Asuma is neither an arrogant person nor a person who likes to rely on his talents. There was only one thought in his mind. That is to complete the task given by Hokage. Absolutely cannot let Hidan and Zhao both escape Fire Country. Chapter 379_Strongest Brain. Cursed Mystery. Azumo, how long has it been since your request? Hearing Asuma's question, Kamizuki Izumo replied immediately. About 10 minutes. If the reinforcements are said to be quick, it will take at least 20 minutes to arrive. Kamizuki Izumo's words, Asuma fell into deep thought. But Gangzi shattered lightly, and his face was extremely ugly. Damn. Gangzi's eyes locked on Hidan, and he muttered to himself, killing him is killing Captain Asuma, what should we do? If you want to destroy the opponent's continuous effective spell, the most effective way is to kill the opponent. But right now this trick doesn't work. Kamizuki Izumo couldn't help but glanced at the corner that was staring at him, both, although the latter didn't make a move now. But if Hidan's life is in danger, he should also take action as a companion. And that's his concern, and that's what Shikamaru et al. Hidan has pushed them into this situation, and if they add a Kakuzu, it will only get worse. At this moment, they are finally the power of open black lens bracket Akatsuki close black lens bracket. It is said that the members of open black lens bracket Akatsuki close black lens bracket organization are all elite ninjas from various ninja villages. Now it seems that the rumors are true. Hearing Gangzi-tai and Kamizuki Izumo's words, Shikamaru interjected. Each technique has its necessary rules, or risks that must be taken when using it. No matter what technique, it can't be avoided. Shikamaru closed his eyes between the words, and the scenes after seeing Hidan appeared in his mind. Every word that the latter said and every action he made were clearly presented in his mind. Especially recalled the curse blood formation under Hidan's feet. Let him understand what it is. At this moment, Zhao Du said. Hidan. Rather than let me help you, I don't want the cooked duck to fly. Coke. The reason why Duo is so enthusiastic is not because of the long-term friendship with Hidan. He's just because of money, that's all. As for companions and friendships, in his eyes it's bullshit. However, Hidan, who is arrogant, doesn't appreciate it. Isn't it all agreed? No need for your help. I can do it alone. When Hidan's voice fell, those tightly closed eyes suddenly opened. Seeing this, Gangziti hurriedly asked. Shikamaru, do you understand? Shikamaru nodded, followed by a light drink. I'm going, Captain Asuma. Fortunately, Shikamaru paused in the middle of saying this, if it were connected. If you read it, it will inevitably lead to ambiguity. Voice fell, Shikamaru immediately moved. I saw that his half-squatted body stood up directly, and then started to move to the side under everyone's astonished eyes. Gangziti and others were puzzled by this, and they didn't know what Shikamaru wanted to do, but Hidan was extremely shocked. I saw Shikamaru glanced out of the corner of his eye, and an unbelievable word spewed out of his mouth. Could this guy have seen through my art? After some confusion, Kamizuki Izuki also expressed the doubts in his heart. Shikamaru, what do you want to do? I'm going to pull him out of the strange pattern drawn on the ground, so that the so-called curse he keeps saying will be released. When Shikamaru said this, everyone was shocked. Especially Hidan, who was the party involved, never imagined that the former could see through this in such a short period of time. But he didn't know, in fact, Shikamaru had seen through it all. Is that so? Gangziti muttered, and then asked, what about that strange weapon in his hand? That weapon has 3 sides, so of course it has a special purpose. From the perspective of appearance, it is not so much used to increase the attack range as it is to make it easier to kill with one hit. But that's not the real reason. The fundamental purpose is to make the opponent slightly or seriously injured. As to the degree, that is irrelevant. In other words, as long as his weapon can injure the opponent, then his art can be realized. Hearing this, Hidan was still extremely shocked. He didn't expect Shikamaru to analyze his analysis so thoroughly. At this moment, he not only doubted whether Shikamaru was the most important factor in his technique, but also thought of Hidan himself, not to mention other people. Du, who has always faced no waves, now has a hint of surprise in his eyes. He had been partnering with Hidan for so long that he could barely figure out the latter's tricks. Shikamaru only took 10 minutes. It can be seen that the latter is at least smarter than him. Moreover, it's not as simple as a star. Although he doesn't want to admit it, the fact is in front of him, and he can't help but believe it. Shikamaru is worthy of his father, Nara Shikaku. After Konoha's strongest brain, this wave of analysis is indeed not covered. After some surprise, Kamizuki Izumo asked. But Shikamaru, what does the enemy's injury have to do with the curse? Because of blood. Shikamaru between words will be the last, blood. The bite was heavy, obviously trying to spit out the meaning of the word. As soon as this word came out, Hidan could no longer be calm. Chapter 380_mystery katakana middle dot shadow stitch. Brain moving. In an empty square. Spit out a blood at Shikamaru. After the words, the atmosphere suddenly became a little quiet. It was none other than Shikamaru who broke the silence. If you want to connect with a cursed opponent, you must let the opponent's blood flow into your body. So it is. Kamizuki Izumo murmured, and then said, as long as the opponent is injured and the weird sickle is stained with blood, you can curse the opponent. No wonder that guy licked blood before, it was because of this. Gangziti suddenly realized and agreed. Immediately after, Shikamaru took over again. After he licks blood, his body will change color, so the conditions for the activation of this technique are very obvious. Not only that, in order to successfully activate this technique, one condition needs to be met. Another. Tai and Kamizuki Izumo exclaimed in surprise at the same time. Yes, there is one more condition. Shikamaru nodded, then said, before that guy knew that he couldn't dodge Asuma-sensei's Kaiden fire style, so he ran towards that strange circle on the ground. But his arm was burned because he resisted Kaiden fire style ash accumulation burning, but the strange thing is that teacher Asuma's arm was also injured. At this time, I began to suspect that this circle might have a special role. Afterwards, he stood in the circle and said, "Ritual begins," and ready. His behavior indicated that the circle had an inevitable connection with the curse. So I speculate that he has to stand in circles to cast the curse. And just when I was about to pull him out of the circle, he resisted particularly fiercely. Coupled with his emotional reaction at this time, it has already confirmed my guess. After listening to Shikamaru's words, Asuma and others are understanding the curse art. What was going on was completely stunned. They knew that Shikamaru was smart, but they didn't expect Shikamaru to be so smart. At this moment, they see his father, Nara Shikaku, on Shikamaru's body. As shadow. Other words, the former has gradually surpassed the latter. The excellent blood of the Nara family has been fully displayed and inherited in Shikamaru, which is why the ninjas of the Nara family will always be Hokage's right-hand man. Sometimes a powerful force is not necessarily better than a wise head. A powerful enemy is not the most terrifying is an enemy who is both smart and powerful. Because they will do whatever they can to achieve themselves, whether it is coercion, enticing, intimidation, etc. As long as there is something you care about, you will definitely choose to give in. At this moment, even Kaku can't help but praise Shikamaru. What an amazing kid. Kokaku. Even so, Hidan, who was the client, couldn't take it anymore. Stinky boy. What are you talking about, you bastard? Stinky boy, I will tear you to pieces later. It's reasonable for Hidan to have such an emotion, because all the secrets about cursed death by blood have been revealed by Shikamaru. Hearing this, Shikamaru replied domineeringly. Sorry, you have nowhere to go. Hearing Shikamaru's words, Hidan's expression was also taken aback. Immediately, he seemed to realize what he saw and glanced down, but he realized that he had been dragged outside the circle of cursed blood formation. Damn. As Hidan cursed, Asuma drank lightly. Good job, Shikamaru. Let me check now to see if it's really unlocked. Between the words, Asuma threw a large shuriken towards Hidan. This thing is also called Fuma Shuriken. If nothing else, this thing must be able to hit Hidan, who was bound by Shikamaru's shadow strangulation technique. But it's a pity that Shikamaru forcibly removed Hidan from the blood array. Was pulled out, and for a while, it let it drill into a gap. Kang. I saw that the Fuma Shuriken that was going to fall on Hidan was blocked by the Bloody March scythe that he controlled in an instant. Seeing this, Shikamaru's expression froze. The Indian style in his hand changed immediately, and he directly used the aggressive, secret art shadow seam to hold Hidan firmly once again. Shadow fluttered in the air, and then stabbed directly into Hidan's body. At this moment, Asuma was already holding a chakra knife. Pushed towards him. Seeing that the situation was not good, Hidan finally let go of his arrogant dignity. Core. Both. Help me. However, something unexpected happened. Zhao. They were all facing Hidan's call for help, but they were unmoved, and still stood where they were and acted as a competent melon eater. Seeing this, Hidan was also anxious. Hey, come and help me. And when Hidan's words just fell, the sharp, chakra knife, in Asuma's hand. It had already crossed his neck. Without the slightest accident, the ring knife, containing wind attribute chakra, Directly separated Hidan's head and body. Blood splattered and spilled into the void. This scene is shocking and shocking.